Okay, I'm back. Now, he said he liked it. But I guess because of the thickness of it, you can't drink too much at one time. So, I'll give him some more of that. I've never been through this. So, people that's trained in this field know the different foods. So, to give people like this. So, I'm actually going on the leading of God telling me what to give him. So we got prayer this week. There's a young lady that's on the altar. And I guess it would be, she would be filled already. It was up to her, I guess. I'm just wearing my hat. Okay. All right, so I want to talk a little bit again about my husband. Never on a bad note, but my previous was based on what it was that got me a sandwich, chicken wrap, with avocado, lettuce, lots of honey mustard, no cheese, and chicken. Avocado. I got avocado in here. God is great and God is good, and I thank you for my food. Right in here, must be fed. Give me Lord my daily bread. In Jesus' name we pray. Bless the hand that laid in the hand that prepared. In Jesus' name we pray. Okay, so there's some things that I have to do. I got to, I'm going to be multitasking right now, so just forgive me if I'm not looking too much at the camera. I have some bills I have to pay, and I have to get the right amounts. That look pretty good, right? I gotta really look, cause see, the paper is stuck. I was about to take a bite. Oh, they got onions in here. I'll give it a nice turn. So, what I want to talk about is that where I am in my marriage right now. Me and my husband, we got married in 1983. March 23rd, 1983. Sometime in the afternoon. Could have been about 3 o'clock or so. Whatever March 23rd, 83 fell on, that was the day that my father didn't go to work. Well, he could have went to work. My father he worked for housing, so he usually finished housing work he used to finish housing work by 11 o'clock. Let's see if I can straighten my glass. Stuck on the roof of my mouth. Okay. All right. We're supposed to be wearing lavender for Women's Day. And Fuser, I should stay with that apple green. Trying to please everybody. Wow. So it must be on this phone. So I went through a whole lot with my husband. And I'm sure he probably can tell y'all some things that he went through with me. But here's the thing. We could never resolve it because I was the one that did all the talking. I was the one that was always, saying, okay, what is it? I asked him what he wanted from me. He don't tell me. I don't know, he just had that thing about him. And I'm just gonna keep you in suspense. I ain't telling you nothing. You know what just came to me? The power of not knowing, and he knew, made him feel like he had power over me. So, me asking him something lets him see that that's something that I don't know. But not necessarily I don't know about. But sometimes I ask questions just to confirm what I know already. So he hearing me ask him these different questions, I guess made him feel, oh, I got power over her because she don't know. So I'm not gonna tell her. As long as she don't know how I truly feel, what I really want. Now, I do want this marriage to work. I do want us to be together because I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going to California. I'm not going back. No matter how much I say it out my mouth and make her think that I am, I'm not going nowhere. I love this woman. I'm going to stay with this woman forever. And she's going to stay with me because I'm not going to let her go. I'm not getting, if she ever think about a divorce, I'm not giving her no divorce, but I'm going to throw out certain things to her so that way she can give me back feedback. But she will never know what I'm feeling. She'll never know what I'm thinking. So that's mostly how our marriage and how our marriage worked, how our marriage went. So this coffee got real sweet. So couldn't say nothing. So when he was up and running, you know, it's a term I use to describe us being young. You know, he was up and running, he was up and running. He was doing his thing. Whatever it was he wanted to do. However he felt like he wanted to treat me, he treated me. Now I had a very vicious mouth. I ain't gonna lie. I could curse. I curse like a sailor. You know, if y'all heard that term before. But I didn't care. Because I felt like that was my way of getting my point across. That was my way of getting my point across, right? But it didn't help because nobody didn't pay attention to what I was saying. It wasn't important. I went to California, lived with him and all his parents and well, it wasn't so much his family. I mean, it wasn't so much his sisters, but it was his parents. Since I was living with them, they got to hear my argument. But here's the thing. They never pulled us together. They never told their son, you got a girlfriend, about to be your wife, I'm sure, with a baby coming. You need to get out there and work. You need to do some things. I've never heard them say that to him in front of me. Maybe they did tell him that. Maybe they told him that when he was growing up. He didn't want to hear it, so he gave him a whole bunch of problems. But now, if they didn't say it, he'll never hear it, and I'll never know. And if they did say it, he'll never tell me, and I'll never know, because they both are deceased. So, I'll never know. And his sister won't tell me nothing. Won't tell me anything. One of his sisters came to me one day. I think this was her middle sibling. Because I think he had 2 sisters and 1 brother. No, he had two brothers and 2 sisters, I think. So, he was the baby. So, This is a sister that's in the middle of him. And he came, I just noticed my back don't hurt as much as it did yesterday. Anyway, because I was exercising that back. I was using that bag. I just got to throw this in right quick. I was using my Hermes bag in Clemens leather. I may be saying it wrong. Excuse me. 30. I was wearing that bag everywhere. Prior to today, everywhere. And sometimes it was heavy. But yesterday, a few days ago, I went to open up this window and I felt something pulling in my back. And it was kind of weird feeling. So I was like, I must have pulled a muscle or whatever. I don't know what it is. So as time went on, that particular spot was sore. So when I would use this arm, isn't it just so amazing, but yet weird, how you hurt on this side. When you use this side, you feel it on this side. When you use this side, you feel it on this side. So this is the side that I hurt. And when I put that heavy Hermes bag on this side of my body, I could feel it all up. So yesterday when I was going to church, right, I had the bag hanging on this arm for maybe about 2 or 3 seconds. And I started feeling all this pain in my back. All in different parts of my back. So I was like, oh, okay. But for some reason, you know how you get a pain? I kept the bag there for as long. It's like I endured the pain because I felt like, sorry, I'm sticking out one too. I felt like that would loosen that muscle and get that muscle to be used. Because apparently, I don't push up no windows. So, I think our body is made of a certain percentage of muscles. So every time you move in a muscle. So there's muscles in my body that I haven't used for years. And one of them muscles was apparently that muscle that I needed to pull up that window. And I felt it. So, with that being said, it's not as bad as it was there, but it's not as bad as it was. So now, moving right along, back to my husband in California. So, I stayed in California, and then I had to leave California, and I came to New York, back to New York by myself. He didn't come. After a few months, he came back. He came up. Right? My grandmother paid, if I'm correct, I believe my grandmother paid his fare. No. My grandmother paid my fare to go down there. He was supposed to pay my fare to come down. He didn't do it. So he got up here, and he came up very quickly because I told him that I didn't want to marry him. He's like, what about the baby? I don't care nothing about no baby. So I could find me somebody that would take care of the baby. Now what I should have did was stuck with that. Wasn't thinking nothing. Even though my grandmother had already told me something, a situation with him. I totally forgot all about it, didn't take heed to it. I went on married. I didn't get married. Had 3 kids by him. Okay, but my point is that I'm getting short. Is that we fought. He bruised my face. We came over to New York. We fought some more. See, you have an abuser that abuse, let me put it like this. Abuse comes in 3 different forms: physical, mental, and verbal. Now, normally, the verbal starts first. They coach you, they buy you all the stuff, make you trust them, and then they start verbally abusing you. Being that, I mean, it depends on where you're at that stage that the verbal comes out. You accept it. You either will be a fighter back like I was. You say something to me, I got something better to say. And I was the type of person that I didn't talk so much. When I got really angry, I fought you. I hit you. I threw something at you. Didn't care. Whatever was, it could be you. If I could pick you up, I'm going to throw you. Okay? So, now, if you're not a fighter back, then you will quickly go into the physical abuse. And then you will go into the mental. Because once they have verbally abused you, physically abused you, then the mental abuse come in where they say, you ain't going nowhere. I'm the only one that can do this for you. You can't go nowhere. And so you're stuck now through the mental stage. You don't like the verbal, you don't like the physical, but ain't nothing you can do about it because he got your mind. And that's one way of being abused. The second order, that's one order. The second order can be mental, verbal, and then the physical. That's my stage. And then you can go with the physical first, then the verbal, and then the mental. It can go in any order in any type of relationship. But I think those are the two main orders. The verbal, the physical, and the mental. And then you got the mental, the verbal, and then the physical. If anybody's listening to this video, come across this video, and have experienced it, if you care to share, comment in the comments what stage you was in, or you know someone that's in or was in. And if anybody's being abused, seek help. I'm sorry I don't have no numbers or whatever, but seek help before it gets really dangerous. Okay, now moving right along. So my stage was mental. Mine was the mental. I started with the mental. And the reason why I started with the mental is because the environment that I'm used to being in. I am a feeling person. So since I am a feeling person and I feel things quickly, he had to work with my mind first. Right? So now, meeting him, coming into act with him, there was no physical against me when I first met him. But I saw the physical. See, the signs is there. So I'm here to say, if anybody say anything that been in abused relationship or in abusive relationship, I'm here to tell you that there are signs. You will see those signs before you actually move forward. Now, what may happen is that you don't understand the signs and you may take them in wrong definition. But I was a person that didn't love myself. So therefore, that's why he was able to control my mind up to a certain extent. So now once he did the mind thing, and the mind thing is what got me to take time out to even listen to him. And just like I said, because I'm a feeling person, he done tried everything else to get me. So I guess he said, well, let me try the nice way. Let me be the nice Tracy. And we in Job Corps in Utah. And that's what transpired. He started, this particular day was my birthday, and he didn't know it, and I was kind of dressed up, and he looked at me. I had to go into a class that he was in, which was his class, and being that I couldn't stand him, I stay away. People that I don't like, I stay away from them. I don't be in their company, and I don't allow them in mine, in my space. But because I had no other choice but to go into this class, and this was his class, I had to stay there for however long, 30 minutes, whatever. Yes, they do got classes. You do go to school in Job Corps. Job Corps is a training facility, but within that training, you have to go to school. Gotta go to school. So now, here we go. Well, actually, I was finished school, but you know what I mean. Classes was in there. So now, go on for a while. I took the time out. I talked with him. He was a nice person. Treated me nice. That particular day, he won me over. I fell in love with him. He holds the door. Let me hold the door for me to come out. Talking very respectable, everything. Now, I don't know. Maybe that was the first. Maybe that moment is when he fell in love with me too. All before he was playing. And that was the time when I saw his seriousness. Because he always was playing. When I say playing, he was always doing devilish things. Always doing devilish things. Saying devilish things. Always was joking. And when I say joking, I don't mean joking for me to be ha ha ha. Joking in a mischievous way. And that was a flag. And if I had paid attention, that would have let me see that he didn't have no pretty good bones in his body towards people. You know. I wasn't up there to be dating or whatever, so. Okay. For a while, we got together. Took time out. He got me pregnant. I went to California. Left California. Came back to New York. I got this awakening for a split second. Told him I ain't marrying you. Don't come to New York. I don't be bothered with you. And I also was talking with someone else down. With another guy that was telling me that I don't need to deal with him. And the guy was saying that he would take the baby and raise it up as his own. He was saying that he would marry me. I mean, he was saying all the good things. But for some reason, I didn't fall for it. And also, my grandmother was saying, when she found out I was talking to somebody else, she said, Sharon, that ain't right. And I was like, that ain't right. I said, Mommy, why it ain't right? Because you about to have a baby by this man, and you ain't supposed to be talking to nobody else. You know, I was raised up in the Pentecostal faith. I'm not going to use the term my grandmother was very religious. No, I ain't going to say very religious. I think very religious is a person that confines their child, don't let their child have fun. Don't let their child, they go pick the guy for their child. All that type of stuff. I had some leeway in my growing up. It was my choice. My grandmother did not allow me to be around a lot of people. That much is true. And if that's categorized as, really religious, then she was really religious. But I appreciate it today for her gate that was around me as well as the Lord's, because it kept me out of a lot of trouble and kept people from coming to me. With that being said, let's move right along. So now, so she told me that wasn't right, whatever. So I took heed. But when I told him that I didn't want to be bothered with him no more, and I didn't want to marry him. Within 2 weeks, if it was not a week, he was in New York City, stating that we're gonna get married. And once he came to New York, it wasn't no rush on my part. We wasn't like, oh, let's get married. No. We was at ease, whatever. But what happened, our lusts began to kick in. Would it be hormones? Our sexual desires begin to kick in. And we was not having sex. And he was, I guess it's okay to say he's very sexually active. He was very sexually active. So me, sex wasn't my thing. I can go months, even years without having sex. And it don't bother me, keep me from having babies, and I'll keep having my period. But he was very active, so at times it got to me. Oh, I dropped stuff on my sweater. At times it affected me, so therefore I had to, I was like, all right, because it was up to me. He was talking to me, the mental part, talking to me, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. We can get our own place, and we can do whatever we want with each other, and we can still have, when you get to that point that you want to do, like, I'm gonna just be point blank with y'all. When you get to that point where you're foreplaying and you at that moment that you want to do something, and boom, you hear slippers. It does something to you, meaning that, you got to bring yourself down. So, even though I'm not highly sexually active, I still can feel. So when those times would take place, when we would be in my grandmother's living room, doing our thing, not sex or nothing, and, because I will only allow him to do a certain amount of things to me within my grandmother's house, because I respected the God that was in her as well as her house. So I didn't let him get overboard. But when I would get to that place that I'm feeling it, and I would hear the slippers, and we cracking up. And then he would say, see, that's what I'm saying. Trying to tell you. Because it was already told to him that we couldn't sleep in the same house or in the same bed. We could sleep in the same house, but we couldn't sleep in the same bed together. And that interaction, where kids today be all on top of their boyfriends and girlfriends in front of their parents, I wouldn't do that. I have respect for her, for my grandmother, and her house. So I had already told my husband, don't be all up on me, don't be touching all up on me. Respect my grandmother's house and respect me. I always demanded respect from him. Commended respect. Oh, this is real sweet. So, full whining. I gotta throw this in there before I forward wine. So the mental part of the abuse was when those times would happen, and he would say to me, so this is what I'm saying. If we go on and get married, then we can do these things. Your grandmother be giving us our privacy, and we could go on and get all in it. So he did get to me. He did overpower that part of my brain. He had mental control over that part of my brain. So we went on, we got married, we moved to my grandmother's house. We stayed in there until the second child was born, which is the one that's deceased today, Tandra. We stayed in there until then. And then by the time my third child, which is Mary, the one that's taking care of him now, my third child was born, we had moved out or was preparing to move out in our own place, right? So now he I think I got a video on that of how he tried to kill my daughter. I don't think I did a story time on that. I think I did a story time on him trying to kill me. No, I didn't do a story time. So I'm just gonna put a little piece in there to give you some insight of him and our relationship to get to where we are today. So he tried to kill my daughter that's deceased today, that died twice. The first time he almost succeeded, but thank God it didn't happen. The second time he burnt her. That it could have really been her life, but God stepped in and protected her. She had third degree. So everybody know what third degree burns is. She had third degree burns. So it really affected her real. I'm not gonna lie, it really took a toll on her, especially as she got older. But before she left the world, she tried her best to interact with him, but he wouldn't do it. And I always feel that it was because of the guilt that he had. The guilt was beating him up each time, and that's one reason, now that I'm thinking about it, that could have been one reason why the Lord brought him back to New York City, so that he could see the child that he almost killed and how she still was interacting with him, even knowing what her father did. All right, I'll be back.